We're bringing back the lava lamps, baby. The OGs, remember. Let's give you that morning roundup. Gonna be seeing a lot of Moais right here. More Moais. You already know. And a David. This messed up. You can see why I pre-made a bunch of these things before Christmas, because I don't know what it is. They are just annoying. However, the golden boy over here seems to be doing quite well. Yeah, I got a first class ticket, and I'm as blue as a boy can be. People always ask me, what have you learned from doing this business? I learned people like sharks. Oh yeah, of course, forgot to mention, sold another giant T-Rex skull. Astute viewers will remember I had a fix thing on this. I did fix it, but I didn't fix this one yet, nor did I fix this one. So that will be a project today. Sales did go down predictably after Christmas, like they do, but it didn't really go down that much. Like, things are still pretty good so far. All right, the elves are making presents for the good little girls and boys. You know what time it is. You don't need a weatherman to tell you what time it is. Do I look like a meteorologist? I ain't a meaty nothing. Wow, look at that, right by the dumpster. It looks pretty bent up. Man, I could almost like fix that and like mount it on the wall and store things in it. It's probably got AIDS. Hey, there's my mailman from a new angle. Kind of random, but you ever meet one of those people that seems like they should have a good sense of humor, but they don't? Like, they kind of dress funny, they look funny, but they themselves are not funny. That's the most disappointing kind of person. You're like at a new job or something, you're like, oh, this guy's gonna appreciate this. And then you tell him and nothing. What a waste. Dunk it real good. Gotta say, I am feeling pretty good these days. Got everything a man could want. 3D printers and coffee. Those are the only two things a man could ever possibly want. Look at that. Coaster for my coffee. One thing that's nice when sales are a little slower, I can a little more flexibly, let's say, structure my day. So here's what we're gonna do. First off, a lot of people in the Discord like the idea of a crypto channel, and I'm gonna try and make the test episode. Second, we're gonna start making filament after that. Actually, I need to start dehydrating the recycled material, so we're gonna do that first, but so we can make the filament. Then we're gonna paint, then we're gonna package. I use the cupcakes not just for customer messages, but to organize my day like this sometimes. And I put them on the calculator because that really annoys me and I notice it. Gotta know how you think. Oh yeah, before I forget, we are going to pick a winner, obviously, of the Chihuahua Pilot, but you know what kind of guy I am. I'm not gonna leave you out. Just because only one person can have the original doesn't mean you can't have a Chihuahua Pilot. We've got it on Cults 3D. It's only $5. Look at that thing. You could have your own 3D printed version. Make it whatever filament color you want. You can paint it, you can not paint it. It's yours, and it's yours for only $5. So link is in the link is in the description, and it's a way to help the channel, obviously. I mean, look at that thing. That could be on your desk. That could be holding your headphones. You could probably put hats on it. I don't know. At M3 is 3D. Nobody's truly left out. Oh yeah, before I forget, I'm also including 2 collections of my very own Chihuahua wallpapers with this. Normally it's only one bonus file. I decided to include both. You get the Santa Wawas and you get the, well, I'm not gonna give it away. You have to pay $5 and download this thing, but I do give bonuses and they are great. We just recorded the first M3 crypto video, the series that I'm doing where I'm going to be walking through my trading strategy and how to develop and backtest strategies. And I'm gonna have to edit it together, but I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna be good. And when I get that set up, I will probably put a link in the description or something like that. But yeah, be watching for that. I might as well show you the process of making the crypto videos. Basically, I had a screen recorder and I got my computer to actually record the screen adequately, which was pretty hard. And then I'm recording myself on my iPad here. And we're just gonna stitch the two things together in iMovie, which really isn't that hard to do. But I have to make sure that the screen recorded enough, you know, things well enough so that when I stitch them together, it will look like it's supposed to look. So we are going to re-watch these things together at the same time. I'm not going to show the whole thing or anything. It's a fairly long video, but we're just going to test it out. What I think I'm going to call how crypto day trading works. I, of course, am your host, M3. Most of the people that will see this are from my other channel. You are the Gratitude Gang, and we are the Gratitude Gang on this channel too. But the topic is quite different. I'm going to show you how to test strategies, and maybe eventually we'll get into how to develop strategies. Dorothy boy. Let's knock out a bunch of Moai guys. Octo head. The tentacles are already done for this guy. Small David can. Dorothy boy. A David. Tiny froggy boy. Violin hanger. Sharky boy. Got a Buddha here. Every once in a while these sell. You know, I think we just made this tiny hippo for no reason. Remember this from like months ago or about a month ago? Yeah, we just made this tiny hippo for no reason. Couple of small T-Rex skulls while we're printing the big T-Rex skull. Just a little bit of stringing. They came out pretty good. Okay, this is pretty random, as I often say. I've been listening to the Seekers. The Seekers were one of the biggest bands in Australian history. Or at least, like, they're probably the biggest Australian band of the 60s. And they're really good, man. Like, clearly, they were kind of mid to late 60s. They were clearly trying to sort of be the Beatles, but be a little more on the folky side. And it's just very like cheery, wholesome music. Like sometimes you just need that. It's like sometimes you just want to drink a nice glass of milk. Nothing fancy, not a beer, not a soda. You just want like a nice, wholesome vitamin D milk. I think I'm getting hungry actually. Making one of those steaks from the other day. These raspberry oranges are amazing. They do indeed taste about halfway between an orange and a raspberry. And we're gonna put some of this salsa on here because it tastes good on everything. Here, this is what they look like inside. It's so good. You gotta get a bag of these things. Well, it is time to paint. Let's give you the old before and after. Of course, you've met the Moais. All these guys are going gold, I believe. This is gonna be black. I think this is going black too. I think both of these are. I'm gonna have to check. White. We're doing the white fade on the skulls. And of course, we already hit these, but we'll probably hit them again. Some white tentacles. Ugh. Well, a bunch of those turned out pretty good. Let's take a look. Moais. Dorothies. Other gold ephemera. black. Very good looking David. Of course, we got the Scully boys and the tentacle. So I just realized I was gonna package a bunch of stuff, but tomorrow's New Year's Day and they're not coming. So these guys gonna have to wait. Actually, they don't have to wait, but there's just no reason to do it right now. I think I will spend the extra time watching one of those VHS tapes tonight, because it is gonna be a new year and you might as well celebrate a little bit. Yeah, I'm about to close the shop maybe about an hour early. We'll reset the machines before we do that, but I want to show you one last thing. Check this little guy out. Look at that Doggie. Let's zoom out a bit. Yup. I think he's a pretty cute little boy. I was kind of wanting a more reddish color of brown, but I think it gets there. Yup. Let's get him in some light over here. That's pretty cool looking, ain't it? I feel like people will buy this. How many Wiener Dog fans are there out there? Oh, he's sniffing me. Oh, he's sniffing. Oh, yep. Tomorrow is going to be a big packaging day. Not only do we have all this stuff, we got all the stuff we painted, but it'll be fun. It'll be the start to a great new year. Excuse me, sir. There we go. We're actually starting to reclaim the seats. Just got to get rid of this TV. I was this close to throwing away the TV today, but whatever. Ooh. Man, what a 2024 we have had. Where I am, it is still 2024, but where you are, it's 2025. So you're literally looking a year into the past. You know, this whole thing has been really interesting for me in a way that I guess I haven't described. I'm sort of not that sentimental a person. And I'm not saying this as a self-pity thing, but to a large extent, it's been because I haven't had that much to be sentimental about. I mean, you know, like I said, not self-pity, but things have been rough for kind of a while. Up until, let's say, I mean, it's kind of a gradient, but I was living on the street and stuff. You don't get too sentimental about those years. It sounds cheesy, but I think I am getting a little sentimental about this whole thing we've got going on. Like, in the sense that I'm just looking back on kind of the last 5 months, which is how long we've had this whole conversation going on, let's say. And it just feels really good. It feels like I've made progress in a way that I've never made before. To give some background, one of the things that got me thinking what I'm thinking now is, it was like last night, I watched the first episode of this series. And, I mean, I had rewatched it very early on, but I haven't seen it in at least 4 or 5 months. And it's like a whole nother thing. It feels like the person in that video is just a whole different person compared to me, which is very weird. Like, we're talking about 5 months, you know, and I'm like not young. Like, maybe when you're like 5 years old and 5 months pass, it seems like a big deal, you know. But when you're like a grown-ass adult, it's not very often that 5 months go by and you feel like actually really different. Yeah, it's a strange thing to be listened to. That sounds weird to say, but it really is. And the thing that's kind of surprising about it is it's not really like I felt like I needed to be listened to. Like, I felt 5 months ago, I felt pretty fulfilled in life. It's not like I was down in the dumps or having a bad time, but man, just, you guys have really changed my life. You really have. You know, tell me in the comments what you guys think about this, but it just feels like what I immediately sensed when people started talking to me and I started connecting with some of you in the audience and what eventually became the Gratitude Gang, as we formally are now called. It's like I discovered how vacuous so much stuff online is. like even whole communities. Like I've been part of lots of Facebook groups. In fact, I've started 300 Facebook groups. Technically speaking, I am still the administrator of, it's between 200 and 300 Facebook groups. I don't remember the exact number at this point because I started them like 10 years ago or something. So like online communities, they're almost always fake. In the sense of like, a lot of times they're bots, like they're literally fake. But then it's like very superficial. It's not really based on anything, you know? And it's like, it doesn't mean anything to be part of those kind of communities. It doesn't mean anything to the people involved. It doesn't mean anything to the people that started it, except maybe like, oh, they can advertise to them. Like, you know, it's all just BS is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, circling back to the thing I was saying before, I think I feel really different in just 5 months because I've never created a community before. And that is I've never created a real community before. And it's obviously not just to my credit. Obviously, it wouldn't be what it is without you guys contributing and just sharing positivity and encouraging people, because that's what the Gratitude Gang is. When you boil it down, it's just a bunch of people encouraging each other, trying to inspire each other. You know, on the Discord, there's all kinds of ideas about business and different things that are shared, or news sometimes that's interesting to the group. Yeah, it's a very strange and life-changing thing to finally be listened to. And I'm not just speaking for myself, you know, I'm listening to you guys. I listen to you guys every day. Life really is a strange surprise. Yeah, there's this weird psychological feeling that I get. It almost feels like I didn't exist 5 months ago. Like I just came into existence all of a sudden. Because like I can go back and I don't really watch the old videos, but I might start watching a couple of them. Like I watched the first episode and like the first thrift store episode, which was pretty cool. But I'm just such a different person. And it's like that past feels real to me in a way that my past has never felt real to me, because I can go back and look at it. And plus, like, you guys remember things. Like you'll make comments about how something is similar to something else that happened, or you'll be like, hey, did you ever finish that blah 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 blah? It's like, oh yeah, I've been existing this whole time. Anyway, I'm trying not to ramble. I'm just saying it is with 100% authenticity and genuineness that I say, like I often say, I am grateful for you guys. Like I really, truly am. This has been a profound thing for me. So yeah, let's make 2025 our best year ever. I think we can do it. And I think we're all headed in a good direction. Good things coming our way. And with that being said, let's read some comments. Got some good ones here. Mike on Discord asked for the last episode, are the candles to mask the plastic smell, or do you just enjoy them? I guess it's been a while since I said this, but I have almost no sense of smell. The lore with me goes way back, but at one point my mom had as many as like 20 cats, and I am deathly allergic to cats and have been for a very long time. You know, I only went to a doctor for the first time like a year ago, so I don't really know, but it feels like something happened with me physiologically where I pretty much can't smell anything. I can only smell like the most pungent smells you can imagine, like a rotting corpse. Not that I've ever been around one. Actually, that's not true. I've been around rotting corpses. They weren't human, but it happens. When you play in the woods a lot as a child, you're gonna come across one every once in a while. But yeah, that's why I'm trying to buy like the really pungent candles at the thrift store, and why I light like 6 of them at a time a lot of times. And even that, it's like I can just barely smell it. So to answer the person's question, no, I'm not really trying to hide the smell of plastic. To me, plastic doesn't have a smell. I've never once in my entire life smelled something and thought like, that smells like plastic. That would just be like somebody speaking Russian to me. Like, I have no idea what that is. Hacksaw Jim, big contributor, says, you have a ton of products and you're growing your catalog a lot. How do you manage demand to make sure you don't get more orders than you can fill? This is a good question. There's a lot of ways to do that. For one thing, you kind of want to get more orders than you can fill. I mean, at least you want to get close to that, because I can fill a lot of orders. At the point at which I get more orders than I can fill, I'm just going to hire somebody. And I have done that before. It's been a while. It's been a good while. But the other thing, raise your prices. If you're raising prices reduces demand. Now, I'm already like one of the cheapest out there. I can have really inexpensive prices because I make my own filament. I've said that before. But you can reduce demand by increasing prices. That's also a good way to do it, especially if you're trying to adjust it like very finely. There's other comments. They're mostly talking about the fake podcast thing. We'll get into that. We're going to launch the first episode of M3 Crypto tonight, but the first episode or two just needs to be an intro to day trading. I realized because there's just so much stuff to explain, but we will get into making the podcast thing. It's going to be very, very fun. I've already got several made and they're hilarious. There's some discussion also about the idea of a crypto channel. People are willing to check it out, so that's cool. Let's see here. Zagabog. I literally spent like 30 seconds trying to figure out what that said because it didn't seem like it could be right. Zagabog said, how is that wiener dog's lower jaw printing without supports? It seems to be defying gravity. Well, you guys just got the sneak peek at it. It's at enough of an angle that it's fine. If you know your printers really well, you know right where things have to be to not get messy. And I've used my printers a lot, let's just put it that way. The ENMCE says, grateful to be celebrating my anniversary tonight. Both of us happy and healthy, so blessed. Very good, my brother. Quite a bit of comments on the Dachshund. You guys will like getting that sneak peek today. Let's see here. We'll read one more. Kurt Boughton said, hey, this is a freebie. Call them the Canine Corps. I think in the last video I discussed the idea of making a bunch of like sort of military themed dogs. You know, we obviously had the Chihuahua Pilot, which the STL, remember the STL is only $5. You could have one right now. But making others, like maybe like some Navy themed, Army themed ones, maybe some historical stuff. Calling them the Canine Corps, that's kind of catchy. Well, it isn't even 2025 yet for me. I'm probably gonna actually watch the ball drop because you got to do the cliche thing, right? Well, you know what I'm grateful for. I outlined it pretty thoroughly in this episode. Grateful for you guys. It is time. It's time for you to tell me what you're grateful for. You are the Gratitude Gang. All you got to do to be initiated into the gang is be grateful for something. That's all you got to do. Tell me in the comments what's bringing you joy. What brought you joy in 2025? What are you trying to get in your life that's going to bring you joy in 2025? What are you going to go out there and kill and drag home? I want to know what you're grateful for. We are the Gratitude Gang. We are grateful for things. You guys made 2024 exceptional, exceptionally exceptional. And it might have been the best year of my life. I'd really have to think about it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to solve that particular question right now in this episode, but it was a great year, and it was largely a great year because of you, because you guys were the best thing. So let me know in the comments what you think. I will see you next year. Peace out.